What can you do, if elected mayor, to make home ownership attainable in Pittsburgh?
So when we came into office, we made sure we funded Own PGH, and we've turned low-income renters, 150, let me be clear, 150 low-income renters into homeowners.
Own PGH was actually done by the prior administration because it was money that was set aside through COVID relief money.
Voters Decide coverage now, and you saw it last night on KDKA+. Pittsburgh's Democratic mayoral candidates clashing, vying for your vote on May 20th. We are just 12 days away from that. Well, Brandon McGinley with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette joining us live in the studio now. Brandon, always great when you join us and lend your insight. First off, do you think there was a winner last night? Was there a clear winner?
That's a good question. I think that the way the debate went favored O'Connor. The focus was pretty squarely on city issues, not very squarely, completely on city issues, as opposed to, for instance, I don't think Donald Trump came up at all. And you know, trying to tie Pittsburgh, this race, to the national scene has been an important part of the Gainey campaign. And frankly, the news coming out of city government over the past few months has been pretty uniformly negative. So the way the questioning went and placed Gainey on the defensive for most of the evening.
Speaking of negative, something that we hear often from folks is, you know, the safety of downtown.
Sure.
That was obviously a hot topic discussed last night. Who do you think did better when it comes to safety in downtown?
I think downtown was one of the areas where Gainey did reasonably well, in fact. I think he could have done even better by bringing up the downtown substation that his administration put in. At the same time, I think that O'Connor was effectively pointed out that there's still a deficit of perception in terms of safety downtown, and that there's still a long ways to go in terms of making people feel not just in terms of raw data, but actually the experience of being downtown, making that more welcoming.
Brandon, behind the scenes, let's talk about the state of both these campaigns.
Sure.
You've written about it. Many of our viewers may have already read about this. The fact that this has gotten kind of ugly.
Yeah. And actually, one of the things that I enjoyed about last night's debate was that it was much more about the issues, and the issues facing Pittsburgh in particular. And so, like I said, Donald Trump, for instance, didn't come up at all, which I think represented an interesting shift in Gainey's strategy, which had been based, I mean, not quite entirely, but a significant part of his strategy had been based on painting O'Connor as being a kind of MAGA acolyte.
Tying them together.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the fact that that didn't happen last night had to do, first of all, just with the questions that were asked, which were based on the city, and second, seemed to suggest a shift in Gainey's strategy toward defending his record and trying to articulate a vision for the future.
Well, it's just interesting, like you pointed out, they really focus on the issues, which I think a lot of folks at home want to hear.
I agree.
They want to hear, how are you going to solve these problems?
Exactly.
Brandon McGinley joining us
Absolutely.
from the PG. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks.
Don't forget, you'll have the chance to hear from the Republican candidates tonight when Tony Moreno and Thomas West take center stage in our studio. You can watch that debate at 7 p.m. on KDKA+ and streaming for free on CBS News Pittsburgh at KDKA.com.